The growing demand to power AI, forcing big tech to look for alternatives. Bloomberg Intelligence estimates Microsoft will pay Constellation Energy at least $100 per megawatt hour once the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant restarts. Siemens USA is also looking to build out energy infrastructure in the face of new demands. The CEO, Barbara Humpton, joins us now for more. Barbara, it's good to see you.
Jonathan, great to be with you.
Let's start with the big picture, the energy trilemma: security, sustainability, affordability. Can we square that circle, that triangle? Can we address that issue?
Well, we have to. I mean, the bottom line is the economy can only grow as fast as the grid. We need power for everything we're attempting to do as a nation right now. And so we have to find more sources of power. At the same time, we've got to attend to the security. And of course, affordability is a big issue. That's why Siemens is working on bringing technology into the mix. Maybe we're going to take longer than we like to bring new sources of power onto the grid, but we can use software and technology tools in order to manage the electrons we produce more effectively.
Talk to us about the technology solutions. We hear all these things about off-grid solutions, microgrids. What are the kind of things that you're working with?
Yeah, this is really exciting. I've been sharing with a lot of colleagues that the grid edge may be the most exciting place to be in the economy right now. Think about all the buildings with all their electrical products. Think about the ability to now put solar on buildings. We've got batteries in cars, so we have many, many more components capable of storing or producing energy. Now we network all those together with software, with the grid components that create microgrids, giving us the ability to maybe separate parts of the grid for security reasons if we've got, say, weather disruptions like we're expecting right now all across the country. So Siemens has been working for a long time. Most recently, you would have seen coverage of our Bronzeville project with ComEd, where we provided a microgrid to the neighborhood of Bronzeville, which integrates storage, power production, and produced enough excess energy that the utility was able to offer the community an electric vehicle so that people could make it to their doctor's appointments.
The demand is there. Companies are willing to pay for it. Evidence Microsoft just a moment ago. It raises a question: how much do we have the capacity to produce it in short order, the goods necessary?
Pardon me, which goods are we talking about, Lisa?
Just in general, whether it is having to do with the chips, whether it has to do with the electrical grid wiring, whatever it has to do, the infrastructure necessary to make what you're talking about.
This is exactly why Siemens has been investing in the U.S. Over the last year, we invested $500 million. One of the huge things was to open up new manufacturing in Texas for the electrical switchgear that will go into data centers and actually help at the grid edge. You'll be seeing an exciting announcement a little later on today, and I encourage everybody to be on the lookout for it in North Carolina as we continue to expand operations.
How much is the end user and the end buyer government agencies or government-regulated agencies versus big companies like Microsoft?
Right now, the hyperscalers obviously are at this. And as I move across the country, I would tell you that if it were not for restrictions on the grid, the appetite for building AI data centers is unlimited. But we all know that we're going to be actually limited by the amount of power that can be produced. So those hyperscalers are moving all around the country looking for where can they get gigawatts of power.
And the best places for gigawatts of power sound like they're in the South, North Carolina, Texas.
But this is where we're making the switchgear, but you're seeing data centers pop up everywhere. So can you find an asset that's underutilized that can produce power? Put a data center close to it and make that local use of power very efficient. And so we're seeing all forms of energy actually coming back on the grid.
The demand is definitely there in the United States. The Biden administration has been backing this with the Inflation Reduction Act, but I still hear complaints about permitting and red tape and how hard it is to build something even like a transmission line. Do you come across those same problems?
This is the issue in our world. Siemens is in the backbone of the economy, and so we're working hard on making sure that we do address the growth of the grid, for instance, the growth of manufacturing. Permitting is key to being able to get us to move quickly. In the meantime, what we're encouraging people to do is everything they can behind the meter. Anything we can do to save energy means we have more energy to deploy for new growth. So get behind the meter, start doing energy conservation measures, but then likewise start implementing the kind of solutions that allow us to use our energy wisely.
Can we talk about the EV charging business? Independent unit, independent business. Why go in that direction with it?
Yeah, EV charging is a really critical business for the world right now. And Siemens has the know-how to create chargers. You know that we had committed to build 1 million EV chargers. And we recently actually acquired Heliox to be able to be in the DC, charging infrastructure and be able to really address large fleets. Proud to say the Postal Service selected us as, for instance, as one of their providers for charging technology. When you look at that, it is capital intensive. And so the big question is, how do you set them up for success? And our expectation is that by taking this kind of action, we actually give them the ability to control how they're going to raise the resources they need and give them the freedom to operate.
$7.5 billion has been allocated for EV build-out from the Inflation Reduction Act. I think they might have built 24. Who does it better, the government or private sector?
Well, this takes a combination. The investment that the government is making actually is starting the flywheel that gets us going. I think you've seen for every federal dollar that's being spent, there's something like 6 or 7 that are coming from the private sector. So we have seen that uptake increase. We are excited about bringing EVs onto the grid. We're excited about what it's going to do for us for resilience overall as we go.
One thing that we've been talking about as a theme on this show has been national security concerns and how to make particularly the grid and aspects that are fundamental to the operation of society invulnerable to some potential attack. How much is that a focus for you as you build this out, as you are the backbone for a lot of these projects?
This is a huge, huge priority. We've got something like 1,200 cyber experts across the country. As we develop new technology, we're clearly attending to this. But here's the thing, connected infrastructure is actually more secure. Right? If you're not connected, you just have no idea what's happening out there. Once you get connected, you can identify sources of threats. You can actually take action. And so we are big believers, and we've been working closely with our customers and with governments around the world, getting our infrastructure more connected.
Barbara, this was super smart. Let's do it again soon. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Barbara Humpton there of Siemens.